Welcome back to the Whole Counsel Devotional. Yesterday we looked at the first 2 verses of Genesis chapter 6 and the idea that angels had offspring with women. As promised, we're going to look at the major objection to this view, as well as what Jude, the brother of Jesus, has to say about this topic before continuing with Genesis. In Matthew 22, Jesus is being questioned by the Sadducees over the truth of the resurrection. Responding to their flawed question, Jesus answered and said to them, "You are mistaken, not knowing the Scriptures nor the power of God. For in the resurrection they neither marry nor are given in marriage, but are like angels of God in heaven." This statement of Jesus is used by many to contradict the idea that the angels could have had children with women. However, a closer look at what Jesus said shows 2 problems with writing off that possibility because of these verses. First, Jesus is referring to the angels of God in heaven, not to the fallen angels who would be the ones to have committed these atrocities in Genesis 6. Second, and more importantly, Jesus never tells us that angels cannot procreate, only that they don't marry. Jude 6 says, "And the angels who did not keep their proper domain, but left their own abode, he has reserved in everlasting chains under darkness for the judgment of the great day." While this sounds to us as the fallen angels simply leaving heaven, that word abode is the Greek word oikaterion, a word only used one other time in the New Testament, in 2 Corinthians 5, where Paul writes, "For we know that if our earthly house, this tent, is destroyed, we have a building from God, a house not made with hands, eternal in the heavens. For in this we groan, earnestly desiring to be clothed with our habitation, our oikaterion, which is from heaven." Here again the word is used, and just as I believe it is used in Jude 6, it refers to a physical body. While I believe I've laid out a convincing argument from the Bible, this may still sound very strange to some, especially if they've been taught that this is a new belief devised by some modern wackos. Although we've established the problems in adopting the beliefs of the early church, this is far from a new view. Men such as Clement, Tertullian, and even Josephus held the angelic view. This Sethite view of the sons of God as the descendants of Seth doesn't really come on the scene until the 3rd century, when Julius Africanus promoted such an interpretation. I could go on here, but I think the horse is dead. Whether you agree with my perspective on what's happening here in Genesis 6 or not, it's time to move on. Verse 3, "And the Lord said, My spirit shall not strive with man forever, for he is indeed flesh, yet his days shall be 120 years. There were giants on the earth in those days, and also afterward, when the sons of God came in to the daughters of men, and they bore children to them. Those were the mighty men who were of old, men of renown." The word for giants here is actually the word Nephilim, meaning fallen ones. While we understand these half-human, half-angel beings as giants because of other parts of Scripture, the Hebrew word is more indicative of their supernatural origin as descendants of the fallen angel than it is of their superhuman size. "Then the Lord saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every intent of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. And the Lord was sorry that he had made man on the earth, and he was grieved in his heart. So the Lord said, I will destroy man whom I have created from the face of the earth, both man and beast, creeping thing and birds of the air, for I am sorry that I have made them. But Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord. In the midst of a world full of evil and not acknowledging God in the slightest, there was a righteous man, a man justified by his faith and saved because of the grace of God." We'll look at more of Noah's story tomorrow, but I'd like to end today with where I see this concept of Nephilim as one important to our lives today. Jesus tells us in Matthew 24, as well as in Luke 17, And as it was in the days of Noah, so it will be also in the days of the Son of Man. While the context of Jesus' words has nothing to do with Nephilim, it gets me to thinking a bit. Is there perhaps a correlation between the Nephilim of Noah's day and what we are living today? Genesis 6:3 tells us that these giants, these Nephilim, were not only on the earth in Noah's time, but also afterwards. And if you look at the world around us, I believe Satan is preparing mankind for such a time again. While the story of half-spiritual, half-earthly beings is one that goes throughout history, from the Titans to the demigods to the Cambions, there is a proliferation of these stories today. From Twilight to Percy Jackson to The Walking Dead to Wonder Woman, the list of stories where the spiritual intersects the natural is almost endless. I went to a Borders Books a number of years ago, and nearly all of the books for teens and young adults were either of the Harry Potter variety or the I fell in love with an angel or a vampire variety. The most prominently displayed book upon entering the store was what seemed to be an erotic romance novel about the love affair between a woman and a demon. While we profess to understand the truth of science and the world around us, humanity is more obsessed with the spiritual realm than possibly at any other time in history. Do they even make movies anymore that don't deal with either zombies or superheroes? Love stories between women and some sort of non-human man are everywhere you look. While I can only wonder about what exactly the future holds, I cannot imagine a better way to prepare the world for a renewal of these relations between fallen angels and mankind than what I see today. What does that mean for us? I believe that now, more than ever, disciples of Jesus must be on their guard, careful about what they allow themselves and those around them to digest as entertainment. While gratuitous sex and violence are not edifying, I believe even more care should be taken when it comes to spiritual things. But also, I believe that we have the opportunity now more than ever to talk to people about the reality of God. While the fictions of modern science are everywhere, people are desperate to see something real and yet supernatural. For many, the door is open to tell them about someone more divine than Thor, more powerful than any Jedi, and way cooler than Star-Lord. People are desperate for the power of God in their lives. Let's show the world that power by giving our lives completely to Him and living the words of Jesus. And these signs will follow those who believe. In my name they will cast out demons. They will speak with new tongues. They will take up serpents. And if they drink anything deadly, it will by no means hurt them. They will lay hands on the sick, and they will recover. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make His face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift up His countenance upon you and give you peace. Have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow.